Let's jump right into this explainer. We're going to uncover your body's hidden potential and walk through a chronological 30-day roadmap to peak energy and mental clarity. We spend so much of our lives feeling drained, sluggish, or just running on empty, often without realizing that the very machine we're operating, the human body, is an absolute powerhouse. Seriously, did you know your body can boil water? Let's kick things off with a totally bizarre fact to completely reset your expectations about what your physical form is truly capable of. When we talk about human energy, we usually just mean feeling awake or sleepy. But on a purely physical, thermodynamic level, you are basically a walking power plant. Get this. Every single hour, your body turns out roughly 350,000 joules of energy. To put that into perspective, that's literally the exact same amount of juice generated by a 100-watt light bulb left on continuously. If we channeled all that thermal output, your body generates enough heat to actually boil a half-gallon of water in just 30 minutes. That is the raw, untapped power sitting inside of you right now. So here's our agenda for today. We'll start with your body's hidden superpowers, look at daily mistakes, dive into a week 1 reset, jump ahead to the week 4 transformation, and finally wrap up with some long-term habits. Section 1. Your body's hidden superpowers. Before we dive into fixing our energy problems, we really need to appreciate our biology. Take a sweltering summer day, right? Your first instinct is probably to grab an ice-cold drink. But science actually tells us the opposite. Drinking a hot beverage on a summer day makes you feel cooler. It sounds crazy, but your body immediately senses that sudden internal heat, kicks its cooling mechanisms into overdrive, and produces evaporating perspiration that rapidly cools your skin. It's a biological hack used in a ton of cultures, like in India, where sipping hot tea in the heat is totally the norm. And what about boosting your brain power and cognitive energy? Well, you might actually want to ditch the keyboard. Studies from Indiana University show that handwriting kicks off the learning and memory process instantly, whereas typing actually delays it. By simply picking up a good old-fashioned pencil, you're literally forcing your brain to process information more deeply, which gives you much better recall and sharper focus. Section 2. Daily mistakes draining you. So if our bodies are this powerful, capable of boiling water, regulating temperatures like a thermostat, and boosting memory with a pencil, why are we always so tired? Well, you might be making really mundane mistakes every single day that are quietly draining your tank. For instance, skipping breakfast deprives you of the fuel you absolutely need to jumpstart your metabolism. Slouching at your desk, that strains your spine and causes chronic fatigue. And here's a wild one about hydration. You can lose up to 3% of your body weight in fluids before you even start to feel thirsty. By the time your brain actually taps you on the shoulder to say you need water, your energy levels have already plummeted. We also can't ignore the invisible drainers, like mental stress. When you ignore stress, your body freaks out and pumps out cortisol. That cortisol spike directly increases your blood sugar levels. Keep this up day after day, and this biological chain reaction significantly increases your physical risk for type 2 diabetes. It's all connected, folks. And let's talk about what we're drinking. You might think diet soda is a safe bet for weight loss, but research from the University of Texas and Johns Hopkins found that decade-long diet soda drinkers have a 70% greater increase in waist size compared to non-drinkers. Why? Because we often overcompensate by eating more calories throughout the day when we consume artificial sweeteners. So let's look at what actually happens when you cut out the junk and start our 30-day timeline. Section 3, Week 1, the reset. Let's map out this roadmap and see how your internal transformation builds. The first week is all about establishing a baseline and clearing out the dietary noise. The second you adapt your diet by cutting simple sugars and highly processed foods, the changes are nearly instantaneous. Within just a day or two, your blood glucose levels drop, instantly lowering your risk for heart disease. By day 7, simply by avoiding simple carbs and alcohol, your triglycerides, which are a type of fat in your blood, will drop noticeably. You're also going to notice a massive reduction in bloating. Here's a real game changer. Eating less doesn't always mean better. Grabbing those low-calorie snack packs, like pretzels or cookies, actually spikes your hunger. On the flip side, eating more substantial, protein-rich foods, like a piece of string cheese or an apple with peanut butter, acts as a natural appetite suppressant. You're literally eating more satisfying food to burn off excess weight. If your goal is weight loss during this reset, safely slashing just 500 calories a day, just by making those healthier, whole food swaps, will result in a sustainable 1 pound of weight loss by the end of week 1. It's that slow, steady progress that actually stays off in the long run.
Section 4, Week 4, the transformation.
As we cross that 2-week mark, where your blood pressure actually begins to noticeably drop, and push toward day 30, the external and internal changes become completely undeniable. You're going to start feeling like a different person. Now that your diet is dialed in, it's time to move. Look, if you're exhausted after a long day, hitting the gym feels literally impossible. But here's the paradox. Just 30 minutes of moderate exercise actively fights off chronic fatigue and moodiness. Even better, getting that exercise earlier in the day dramatically increases the amount of deep sleep you get at night. And that's exactly when your body heals its tissues, regulates hormones, and restores immunity.
By week 4, you'll also realize that the famous 8 glasses of water a day rule, kind of a myth. While it's a decent average, your hydration needs depend entirely on your activity level, your weight, and the temperature. Interestingly enough, about 20% of your daily hydration actually comes from the food you eat, like soups, produce, and fresh fruit. Basically, if your urine is close to clear, you are doing it right.
Hitting that 30-day milestone on this roadmap means your biology is functioning at a fundamentally higher level. Your body is finally lowering its cholesterol, particularly if you've been eating soluble fiber, like beans and nuts. That acute, total body inflammation decreases, which translates to fewer aches and pains, incredible mental clarity, and a vastly improved stable mood.
Section 5, Habits for Long-Term Success.
You did the 30 days. Now we need to make sure you don't fall back into those old, draining routines. The key here is sustainable, personalized choices. First, let's talk about staying alert. Swap out those energy drinks entirely. They pack up to 5 times the caffeine of coffee, causing massive sugar crashes, rapid heartbeats, and irritability. Instead, go for a simple cup of coffee. Not only does it give you a steady boost, but studies show it actually hydrates you. The water content completely makes up for the mild diuretic effect, and it can actively lower feelings of depression and boost your morning mood.
But above all, remember that what works like magic for one person might totally tank someone else. Diet is highly personal. Some people thrive on a low-carb regimen, while others genuinely need a balanced mix of carbs and protein to feel their absolute best. Listen to your own body's signals, track how you feel, and just adjust accordingly.
We started this explainer by learning that you are a literal walking powerhouse. Now that you have the roadmap to eliminate daily energy drainers, nourish your body with real food, and unlock your full physical and mental potential, I have to ask, how are you going to use it? What will your body do with its 350,000 joules of energy today?